2020 bad. Okay, so what I want to do right now is a little different. I just want to talk about games. Specifically games I played in 2020. I think I'm going to do this every year. I think this is a very good way of cataloging where I'm at gameplay-wise. This is just games I've played. Some games that I've played are impossible to beat. For example, you can't beat Jackbox. You can, win in Jackbox, but you can't beat Jackbox. I still played Jackbox. So, yeah, that's how this works, is that when I start talking about the game, assume I've already beaten it. Because these are my full thoughts on it. Okay. First up. First game is Pikmin 1. These aren't in any order, by the way. These are just, I wrote them down in a list, and I'm just going off. This game is amazing. This is, the best game ever made. As you can probably tell by, the end of this year, I became a pretty big Pikmin fan. I think half of the videos I made recently are Pikmin related, and I think all of them at least have a Pikmin joke in them, which is pretty impressive considering I had literally never played a Pikmin game until September of this year was the first time I ever touched a Pikmin game. And now it's my favorite franchise ever. It's so fucking good. I played all 3 Pikmin games. And despite that, Pikmin 1 is my favorite. It's buggy, it's glitchy. I played it on the original GameCube, so that means I didn't even get the Weave pointer functionality to make it more tolerable. And it's the best one. It's just the best Pikmin game. Just fucking it is, alright? The soul of it. And I use this word sparingly because I feel like it's kind of subjective. I know most games are subjective because, it's what you put into them. But the Pikmin franchise has so much fucking soul. And the most soul might be in the first Pikmin game. Just in terms of how you play the game. It is damn near flawless. Just the simple idea of you get trapped, you just explore, you get 30 ship pieces. It's just such a simple idea. But what makes it work is the soul. And when I mean soul, I mean they had faith in this idea and were willing to make it really fucking creepy for no goddamn reason. Alright? It made me feel like a kid again. Playing through a game and being scared. Despite it not being a horror game. And I didn't even encounter I didn't even encounter the Smoky Prog, by the way. Which is the scary dude of the game. Every Pikmin game has a scary dude. You get Smoky Prog in Pikmin 1, Water Wraith, Pikmin 2, Plasm Wraith, Pikmin 3. They're all scary dudes. Equally scary fucking dudes. I hate them all. I love them. How much I hate them. But I didn't even encounter. It's just completely optional to encounter the Smoky Prog in Pikmin 1. I didn't even do it. And I was still scared out of my fucking wits. Every single time I would go into a new area, I'd just be so fucking terrified of what could be out there. And that's what's amazing. Very few games have ever made me feel that way. Normally I'm just okay, yeah, it's a game, whatever. But with Pikmin, I was what the fuck is out there, dude? That's crazy. What the fuck is this? What's that? There's magic in the air. I was losing my fucking shit over this goddamn game. Alright, play Pikmin 1. It's not even the best. It's got breadbug in it. That's all you need to know. Pikmin 2. Now, in a lot of ways, Pikmin 2 is better than Pikmin 1. But it's not. So the thing is that Pikmin 2 is fundamentally flawed. Just removing the day system, it just takes the game down a notch. But it has more soul than Pikmin 1. It has more things going for it than Pikmin 1. The story is more interesting. The characters are, incredible. There's, 3 characters in the entire game that are actually modeled. That aren't that actually talk. And they're all amazing. All of them are obviously returns. Louis is fucking incredible. Do I even need to say anything about the president? And also, Pikmin 1, it's got 1 breadbug in it, alright? So you're thinking, okay, Pikmin 2's got 2 breadbugs in it. No. Pikmin 2 has a whole fucking cave of breadbugs, alright? That's what we're talking about. That's the level we're at, alright? I think Pikmin works for me because it's an RTS And I like RTSs. All right, I like Civ. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I've played. I've played a bit of Sid Meier's Pirates, which I guess counts. But Pikmin's an RTS where you, the player, approach. Things don't come to you in Pikmin. You have to come to them. And yes, in Pikmin 1 and 3, there's a penalty for not coming to them. But in Pikmin 2, you can just sit out and just do nothing, and nothing really happens. You have to actively put yourself in danger. Most RTSs is the danger coming to you. Like you're defending a castle, or you're defending your civilization. But most RTS, like I'm thinking of like your fucking like your coaster tycoon. Does that count as RTS? I guess it does. You know, it's the tension is coming to you. But Pikmin, especially Pikmin 2, you have to actively go into the depths. And I think that's where the fear factor comes in. Pikmin 2 is easily the scariest of all the Pikmin games. Personally, I think Pikmin 1's a bit scarier because I had no fucking clue going in what I was getting myself into. And by Pikmin 2, I knew what a lot of the enemies were capable of, so I wasn't as scared of them. But then, it almost didn't matter. Pikmin 2 still brings the fear, all right? Because three things. I'll mention three things. One, Water Wraith. Enough said. I don't need to elaborate on that. Number two, the fucking spider on day 32, all right? Or day 31. You go to the third section, and it's like day 31. That motherfucker falls down. You Cloudhead, you son of a bitch. I know you're watching this. This is all your fucking fault. You scared the fucking hell out of me, all right? You fucking asshole. I will kill you, all right? I will kill you. I just remembered. I have to kill Cloudhead. All right? I have to kill Cloudhead, all right? Yeah, so Pikmin 2, fucking incredible game, all right? But because of its, like, fundamental issues, it's not as good as Pikmin 1. It's like Pikmin 1 is just a better overall game, but Pikmin 2 has better moment-to-moment gameplay. And it's funny because moving to Pikmin 3 Deluxe, it's kind of the opposite. Pikmin 3 Deluxe has the best gameplay, but the moment-to-moment stuff is kind of weak. Like, Pikmin 1 has, like, the best blend of moment-to-moment and overall game feel. Pikmin 2 has, like, insanely good moment-to-moment, but shit game feel. But Pikmin 3 Deluxe has amazing game feel, but pretty shit moment-to-moment. Because it's not very hard. Even in Ultra Spicy, which I did end up playing, it's not a very hard game, and so these moment-to-moment, what the fuck is that? You know, it doesn't hit as hard. But the general game is fucking perfect. The controls, beautiful. The environment's gorgeous, alright? They brought the spider back, alright? Which, you know, I'm not going to say much about that, because they always bring the fucking spider back. Several points have been deducted from Gryffindor because they don't have fucking Breadbug in it. Although, honestly, part of me just kind of likes the idea that Breadbug will always be this, like, GameCube-era asset and nothing more. I don't think I want to see HD Breadbug. If they ever do Pikmin 4, I kind of don't want to see what an HD Breadbug would look like, because I feel like it just ruined it. And I didn't play the Wii U one. As I said, I literally played all three Pikmin games, or last year. Yeah, I played Pikmin 1 in September, Pikmin 2 in October, and Pikmin 3 in November. And I've 100%ed every single one of them. I haven't done the mission mode for Pikmin 1 and 2, but I've, like, collected all the treasures and shit. And the parts for Pikmin 1 and 2. And then I did do all of the mission modes, although I haven't platinumed them because they are fucking impossible. But I did platinum all the side stories, so I do feel good about that. Because the president, who, thank God, they added him back in 3 Deluxe. Alright, I know he gets, like, a mention in the original one. Like, how did anybody play the first Pikmin 3? Default Pikmin 3. Sounds awful. The president isn't even in it. Alright, at least he's in Deluxe. Because he, like, you know, he gets his little icon, he says things, you hear his voice clips. I know people are like, he's not modeled. Yeah, fuck off. That's him. He's in the fucking game, all right? Yeah, I know you can't play as him, but I didn't even know you could play as him in 2. 2. When I figured out you could play as the president, dog. So yeah, Pikmin 1 is the best. 2 and 3 are about equally good, if you ask me, although they are good for very different reasons. I feel like Pikmin 4 could now marry the two together. Because it's very clear that the people who make Pikmin have respect for all three games. It's not like they just were like, yeah, we're going to pretend Pikmin 2 didn't happen. No, they actively reference Pikmin 2 in 3 Deluxe. It's good for them, you know? They deserve it, all right? Because all 3 of these games are some of the best games I've ever played. Literally, how is a franchise this goated? I can't wait to play Hey Pikmin. I can't say that with a straight face. Fuck. Anyway. Okay, so I've also never played Mario and Luigi. Like, none of the games. In 2021, I just played the Partners in Time. And I'm about to be playing Bowser's Inside Story. So I'll have played the 3 good ones, apparently. Because people really don't like Paper Jam and Dream Team. That's fair. I'm not going to play them, probably, because I have a ton of games I have to get through. And I want to make this video longer next year. But Superstar Saga, very, very good. Right up until you get to the final boss. It is incredible. I have never seen a game fall so hard. Because the game itself is fantastic. I've played all the Paper Mario games, and we'll get to that a little later. Actually, pretty soon. But Mario and Luigi might be better than Paper Mario in some respects. It has, like, no serious moments. It's just the silly moments from Paper Mario. And I think it kind of works. Like, you know, Paper Mario has a nice mix of silly shit and serious shit. And Paper Mario does both of those really well, but you can really tell that the silly shit kind of takes a back seat, and especially in the good ones. All right? Super Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door especially, the silly shit takes a bit of a back seat to the themes of the serious shit. You know, like loss, fascism, some you know, serious shit that exists in these in the good Paper Mario game. Mario and Luigi doesn't even fucking bother with any of that shit. It just goes, yeah, this is just silly and stupid and whatever. Good. Good. You know what? Good. Good for her. All right? Mario and Luigi should just be able to do that. All right? Should just be able to say, yes, we are stupid fucking games and we own it. All right? Yeah, you can just burn Luigi's ass and like zoom forward really quickly. That's amazing. Why don't more games do that? All right? Why don't more games let you burn Luigi's ass? Now playing Partners in Time in 2021, which I'll get into next year. Holy shit. Obviously, it'll be better. I think Partners in Time is better because it has a better final boss. The final boss of Superstar Saga, which is not Boletta, but Cackleta's Spirit. I think that's the final boss name. By the way, I played the GBA version, not the remake, because it's better. The GBA version is far harder, and I enjoy that. And it has better designs, and I enjoy that. And it doesn't have a tacked-on shitty mode that sucks dick. And it didn't bankrupt the company. So that's why Superstar Saga GBA is better. Anyway, I haven't even played remake. I don't even want to. Getting back to what's important, I guess I'll finish off. First of all, final boss sucks dick. No save points. You have to do the first super long phase over and over again before she kills you, sucks you up, and now you're at 1 HP, and you have to dodge this attack that I kept dying to because I'm not very good at dodging, I guess. Yeah, get good, yeah. Okay, get good only works in a game like Dark Souls, where the difficulty spike is set really high at the very beginning, so you have to learn how to deal with it, and the difficulty only gradually increases. With something like Superstar Saga, it's a pretty easy romp the entire way through, with some mild spikes, but nothing crazy. And then it just fucking shoots up in difficulty when you get to, like, the final boss. And, like, unfairly so. I have no clue why it just is this hard. I get it, because, you know, there's no post-game, so they want to make it as hard as possible. So, you know, dipshit kids with their Game Boy are like, finally, it took me, like, 2 years. And, you know, 1.5 of those years was spent on the final boss. But I finally did it. I finally beat the final boss. Yes, they're doing the Metal Gear Rising approach, which is they make the final boss hard as nails. And, you know, and you're slower than a snail. And then they beat up every single person in jail. That's just how this works. And that's fine with an asterisk. Because it's like 3 phases. Well, it's 2 phases, all right? It's 2 phases that are both really long and tedious. And you also, not only that, you have to, like, walk up a goddamn corridor just to get there. So it's just a bunch of waiting. So you don't have time to properly learn from your mistakes. Because, you know... Yeah. I put Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga low, you know. It's a good game. It's a good game. I shouldn't be shitting on it this much, and I know everyone gets all up in ante when I say that the final boss almost ruins the experience, because it is the last thing. It's the last thing you do in the game outside of like an escape sequence at the end with a barrel. All right? Outside of that, that's the last impression I get of this game unless I play it again, and I have a ton of games to get through, so I can't do that. Anyway, it's a good game, except for the final boss. I'm not playing the remake. I don't care if they fix the final boss. I'm not doing it. Yeah. Oh, one more thing I should mention is that when I turned on this game and I got my first battle, an intense wave of nostalgia rolled over me. And I never even played this game, but I had listened to it so much and seen so many flash animations with these particular sprites. Because they just use the Superstar Saga sprites. They don't use like the Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story sprites. They always use the Superstar Saga sprites. They're probably the easiest to rip. And you know what? Once I heard that battle theme and I started playing the game and I recognized where all the sprites were coming from, I fell in love with the game. I really did. And that's the note I want to go out on this review, is that I fell in love with the game because it had left an impact on so many people. All right, next up, No More Heroes 1. Since No More Heroes 3 got delayed, they ended up putting the first two just on the Switch. And I played the shit out of them because they put the Wii ports. Because the PS3 port is apparently dog shit. No More Heroes 1 is fucking amazing. All right? I don't even get half the shit that's going on in it. And I don't even care. I don't care. I don't care that I don't know what the fuck's going on in it sometimes. Because it is so fucking amazing. It's funny. It's styleful. Styleful. Yes, it's styleful. It's got soul. There it is. There's that word again. Soul. It's got a secret final boss that's baller. It's got a bitchin' overworld. And I like San Andreas. That's the only GTA I've played, so that's all I can really compare this to. I guess there's other open worlds. And the open world at first seems tedious, right? You know, you go through this big world, you got to do all these fucking missions you don't really want to do. And you think it's gonna be bad. And then it's not. Once you realize there are several tricks you can do on the motorbike to just keep the gas, you never run out of boost. Once you realize that, and once you realize that there's like strategies to every minigame except for the Scorpion one, fuck the Scorpion minigame, they all become insanely fun. I fucking love these games. I love these, well, the minigames at least. Even though they feel like, well, not tacked on. They're there to make the experience go from like a 5-hour one to a 25-hour one. But I don't even care. They're amazing. Sorry, someone messaged me, and now my train of thought is completely lost. I left my phone in the other room so this shit wouldn't happen, and it happened anyway. And I'm very upset now. Anyway, where was I? Bosses. This game is a boss gauntlet game. And that's fine. There's a couple other ones coming up. Cuphead, boss gauntlet game. GOAT game, all right? And they do what every boss gauntlet game should do. Give the bosses fucking tons of character, all right? I mean, these characters could just be in their own games and be amazing. With the exception of maybe that one guy who dies before you even fight him. But, I mean, obviously, you don't fight him, so you don't get a lot of time to figure him out. And his, like, actual, like, entrance and his fight is kind of like shit. But that's the joke. That is shit. I know I'm spoiling the shit out of this game, but I didn't say anything, so I don't really feel like I did. I guess spoilers. Skip to this time if you care. Should have said something. Yeah, final boss is fucking incredible. The final boss of No More Heroes 1 is incredible. Once I beat her, I felt just so good. Like, I felt like I had mastered the systems, you know? Which is hard to do in a game that's... I know this is going to sound petty. It's only 25 hours long. That sounds like a lot of time, but that's not a lot of time to, like, master a game's, like, combat system. I think of Dark Souls, where I've, like, at least remastered, it's the only one I've played, where I've, like, sunk, like, 100 hours into it, and I still feel inadequate. In 25 hours, in No More Heroes 1, I was able to, like, I felt like I mastered the combat. Of course, there's the press the A plus X attack, where you just sort of, like, do the jumping slash that just insta knockdowns enemies. It's kind of busted, but the actual regular mooks aren't what I'm talking about when I mean good combat system. When I mean good combat system, I mean the boss fights. All right. I mean the perfect dodges. I mean the figuring out their tells. I mean the like turning their attacks against them, which you can only do in like 3, but you know what I mean. I love the boss fights in No More Heroes 1. I love the overworld in No More Heroes 1. I love the style of No More Heroes 1. I love the stupidity of No More Heroes 1. You know, like coconuts are worth more than human life. And that's just like not like a throwaway line. It's like reinforced like 3 different times. That's how you know this is a well-made world. And I love Travis Touchdown as a character. He's like a fucking dork. A fucking idiot. He is literally what Zero Pussy does to a motherfucker. And you know what? Let's fucking go. He should. You know? He should. No More Heroes 2, on the other hand, kind of sucks. And that's really sad. Because as soon as I finished the masterpiece that was No More Heroes 1, No More Heroes 2 really just started lacking. It started off pretty strong. The first boss was pretty cool, and the graphics I quite liked. And they kind of did this thing where they referenced the early trailer with this like Cloud Strife dude with 2 pistols that are like, I don't know, like basketball hoops. Like they're weird. But yeah, so far up to this point, cool. Travis shows up and he's like, yeah, I'm back. I was number 1 and then I escaped. And it's like, cool, okay. And now he's back to simping for whatever her name is. You know, the white-haired bitch. She's kind of hot, but she's no Shinobu, I'll tell you that. And then, as soon as that first fight was done, it started to lose me. It started to lose me subtly. They took away the overworlds, and everything was just going from point to point. They made it so that you don't actually have to do missions, like the odd jobs, to make money. You don't have to whore out for job money, as they say, because you don't have to pay for the ranked kills. And you'd think that'd be a good thing. You'd think that like, oh, I don't have to go and do an arbitrary side mission to do the actual game. But I was starting to miss them. I was really starting to miss them. And they're there. It's not like they went away, but you don't have to do them. And it's sad because they're way better in the second one than they are in the first one, except for the Scorpion minigame. They always fuck that one up. I hope, you know what? I would say, if this were any other series, I would say I hope it doesn't come back in 3. But I hope it comes back in 3 and it's even fucking worse. I hope it's like the worst fucking minigame ever. It's like dog shit. Because Suda51 would do that. He'd say like, yeah, I know. That was like some dog shit, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm bringing it back. It's even harder. It's even more shitty. The Scorpions, they're invisible now. You can't even pick them up with tongs. You have to use you have to pick them up with your hands. And there's just like a 50% chance they'll just sting you and you don't get anything. And there's no antidote. You just die immediately. And I would pay $60 for that game. But No More Heroes 1 and 2 dropping off at like $20 a pop on the fucking shop. Perfect. That's how it should be. And they're the goated Wii ones too. They're not the shitty PS3 ones. Because those are awful. Anyways, the boss fights of No More Heroes 1, bellissimo. Boss fights of No More Heroes 2, they're just they're okay. No More Heroes 1 had some fucking charm bosses. And it was the first of its kind. Like, it was the first No More Heroes game. So it meant they couldn't, take from anything else. I mean, unless you count Killer 7, which I guess they have that one guy from Killer 7 in it. I guess it's implied that that's him. I think it's him. I don't know who else that could be. I know they don't have the rights to Killer 7, but whatever. But No More Heroes 2, it kind of starts to leech off No More Heroes 1 in a way. And that's fine. It's a sequel. It's allowed to do that. But, once Destructo Man, once, Neo Destruct Man showed up again, which is, 2 Destructmans. Shit, spoilers. Fuck. I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, spoilers, by the way. Yeah, oops. Yeah, once Neo Destruct Man shows up, and it's just Destruct Man again. And, he's there's 2 of them now, and then you use a different character, and you're fighting on, 2 different planes, so it's cool. It's definitely cool that he's back, and it's different, And you actually get to fight the brain guy. That was cool. Okay, that was a cool one. That was cool. You actually get to fight the brain guy. But the other bosses, they don't feel as inspired. The bosses of 1 were so cool. They really were. Wasn't it? Okay, the astronaut guy was from 1, right? I loved that dude. He was this floating astronaut dude. That was cool. Unless that's from 2, in which case my point is moot. I'll just turn to the final bosses, which really highlight my frustration with No More Heroes 2. So you get to the second to last boss, and she's like kind of referencing the first one. Apparently you have to like go into the game's files to look at photographs that she's throwing in a fire that reference something from the first game that explain her backstory. So that's already fucking dope, alright? That's shit they do in the first game. Like, in the first game, if you want to hear the final boss's tragic backstory, you have to, like, slow down footage. It's like played as a joke. And you see, like, Travis's, like, sped up, like, shocked reactions he hears, like, fucked up shit. And she's, like, also his sister or whatever. Yeah, because the family stuff is weird. Anyway, compare that to the final boss. Compare all that cool shit, which is the final boss of No More Heroes 1. Compare that to No More Heroes 2, which is just the pizza butt guy. He's just a dickhead little kid played by Yuri Lowenthal. I don't hate him for a good reason, is what I'm saying. Like, I hate him, but I don't like to hate him. I hate him because he's a dickhead little kid played by Yuri Lowenthal. Yuri's a fine voice actor, but he always does this, like, annoying, nasally fucking voice. And then they do something that potentially is pretty cool, which is that the pizza butt guy, I know it's pizza bat, but I'm calling him pizza butt because that's what it should be called. That's what it's called in the first one. They just changed the name. They do this thing where it's like, oh yeah, I've killed all your friends when you were too busy going on your revenge quest. Don't you feel like an idiot? And then, like, they don't commit to it. Like, in the beginning, they kill Travis's best friend. And that's fucked up. And now you want revenge. Then they up the stakes by killing Shinobu and Travis's brother and even the fucking lady that Travis is simping over. They kill her too. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Shit's actually happening in this game. And now Travis is completely alone. And then they just say, actually, no, those deaths don't matter. Yeah. And so now it just feels like, oh, okay. Damn, I was about to care for... You almost made the game really, really good for a second. No, I can't even have that. I can't even have shit in this house. All right? Can't have shit in this house, apparently. Oh, well. All in all, No More Heroes 2 is a fine game, but it is nowhere near as good as No More Heroes 1. Because Ubisoft probably put their grubby fucking mitts on it. That's why. And also, I guess I didn't mention this earlier. I'll talk about this. The minigames are way better because they're actually like NES games. Because No More Heroes always did like the pixel art style before it was cool. And I find that really fun. So if No More Heroes 3 does it, fucking hope to God they do, because it's a good-ass style. Because when they commit to it, they commit to it. The minigames in No More Heroes 2 literally could just pass as old NES games. They are so authentic. It's crazy. Because not only, they don't even reference any NES games. They're their own original NES games that feel like NES games. It's incredible. I've played tons of NES games in my time, especially, you know, I've like owned a couple. I've played a lot of them on the Switch. I've played a ton of them. You know what I'm talking about, on the Switch NES emulator thing. I've just emulated a ton of them. And so I know what a ton of NES games play like. I know what shitty NES games play like, and I know what good NES games play like. Every single minigame in No More Heroes 2 is a good NES game. They're like top of the line NES games, concept wise, that are just in this okay game. And it feels kind of bad. Like, I might just replay No More Heroes 2 just for the minigames. They are so fucking good. They feel like genuine NES games. I've said that again. I'll say it again. I'll say it again and again and again. They are incredible. Except for the Scorpion one. They keep fucking up the Scorpion one, man. First of all, it's not even an NES game. It's just the same one as the first one, except worse. So why do they ditch? There's 8 minigames, and out of the 8, the Scorpion one is the only one that's not NES thing. And it's not. Did they just like run out of budget? Did they not think of anything? I have no idea why it's not. Now the wrestling ones, the ones where you level up your stats, which is the only thing money is used for in this, other than to buy like. Okay, first little tangent. I hate that they've completely neutered the shops. You don't learn any new moves by going to shop. The shops, there's like 5 shops you can go to in this, and like 2 of them are actually useful. Because one of them is like the gym where you level up your stats, and there's this like gay guy in it. I don't know. I guess he's not trans clearly, but he might be like I don't know. Anyway, this guy, he's in it, and I get that they can't use the master from the first one because he died, but like his ghost was in the first one after he dies. Why not just bring the ghost back? I don't even care. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen in 3. Who knows? But you go back to the inventor lady, and in the first one it was cool. There was like 5 weapons you could buy, and there was like they're really expensive, and you could buy little perks and upgrades for the swords to make them do different stuff, and that was cool. In this one, you can buy 2 weapons, and that's it. And they're really cheap, and you can just buy them in like the first couple of missions. It's like, why would you make a store that you can only go to twice for things, and then she doesn't sell anything else? There's a store for 2. It just feels unfinished. Was it rushed? It might have been. It might have been rushed. It feels like a rushed game. And despite having more enemies, like more bosses to fight, because there's not technically 51. It looks like 51. It's more like 20. That's fair. No More Heroes 2 is 20, and No More Heroes 1 is 10, and No More Heroes 3 is probably going to be like 30, and that's fine. I still haven't beaten Travis Strikes Again, but it looks like there's like 10 bosses, which is fine. 10 is a perfectly adequate number. But like, No More Heroes 2 just feels unfinished. For example, No More Heroes 1, 25 hours. That's how long it took me to beat the game. And I was just kind of casually playing. No More Heroes 2, I was also just kind of casually playing. 15 hours. How does a sequel with more stuff take less time to 100%? And I got everything too. I got everything. I beat every minigame, got all the money, got every upgrade. 15 hours. No More Heroes 1, got every upgrade. Secret boss beaten. Yeah, 25. No More Heroes 3, 3 times many content. 5 hours. No. It's going to be a great fucking game. Because Suda's actually like directing it instead of just writing it. So, 2 thumbs up. Can't wait for it to be great. Alright, Color Splash. This game sucks. I don't want to talk about it too much because I literally just beat it so I could send it to my friend, Cloudhead, so that he could play it. And I also beat it so that I could say I've beaten it. Because up to this point, I've beaten every single Paper Mario game except for Sticker Star, although I don't need to play that one. I don't. I've beaten 64, I said 60, he said Melee. No, Thousand Year Door, Super Mario, Color Splash, and Origami King. And I'll talk about Origami King next. But Color Splash just fucking sucks. It's just bad. It's tedious. People say it's funny. It is funny, but it's not as funny as Origami King, which is actually a decent game. I just wanted it to be good, man. I bought it all the way back and I was suckered into buying it in 2015 because I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a great game. I can't wait to play it because I love Super Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door so much. Those are like my childhood games. I love them so much. As 64 is also good, but I recently played it on the Wii U emulator. But yeah, it's just a shitty game. Don't bother. People love to defend that game. I have no idea why. They're like, I'm a salty Paper Mario fan because I'm like a fanboy. I liked Origami King. I liked it. It's not a perfect game, but Color Splash sucks dick. All right, Color Splash can go splash color on my dick to make it a better product. All right, that's how it works. Mario can fucking hammer my cock and balls to give it some color. Fuck. And I don't want to play Sticker Star now. I really don't. Some people say you have to play the game to get an opinion. Fuck you. No, I don't. My opinion is that I don't want to play the game because it's ass. All right, that's my opinion on it. All right, Origami King. I liked it. I did. I admit it. I am a Paper Mario ghoul fanboy, and I liked Origami King. It's not the Paper Mario I wanted, and it's not even the Paper Mario I didn't know I wanted, but it's good. It's the closest I'd put it up on the Wii. I'd put it next to Super. Honestly, I would. It doesn't even hit as hard as Super's really good story, but it does have the same flaws and strengths as Super. With Super Paper Mario, it is a fantastic story. It has really cool characters, and you go to really cool places, and yet the combat is pretty bad. I've accepted that. The combat's bad. Normally, I wouldn't let anyone talk shit about Super Paper Mario, but now I've accepted the combat is it's lackluster, it's boring, it's just regular Mario, and They like did nerf a lot of the partners. I mean, Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, those are good fucking party members, all right. And then all the pixels are useless, and like Tippy is the only other useful one that actually does shit. But they all go through arcs and they're all cool characters, and I like what I got anyway. I'm like satisfied with the product, and all the character designs are really cool and weird, and you have all these like one-off characters that I love and I wish they'd show up again. And Origami King is pretty close to similar. I feel very similar feelings when I play Origami King to how I play Super Paper Mario. If you don't like Super Paper Mario, you probably won't like Origami King. And if you like Super Paper Mario, you might not like Origami King. I don't know. It's so weird. They're very different but similar. Yet, I think Origami King has merits. It does. Combat is not one of its merits. The combat gets very grating after a while. Although, maybe it's just because I'm bad at puzzles under pressure. Maybe most of the population is bad at puzzles under pressure. That's such a weird thing to have in your game. Is a timed RPG like Final Fantasy does that. Like you have you have to attack and plan out or fast, or else the enemy will attack you first. That's fair. But like doing a whole fucking puzzle, like imagine in Final Fantasy. You're playing like Final Fantasy 7, and every time Cloud has to attack, he's got to like quickly do some Rubik's Cube shit before he can attack. Like, that's horseshit. I would not play that game. And it starts to weigh down. And now it's obviously not Rubik's Cube level awful. I'm like hating on the Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube is fine. Just Rubik's Cube and RPG wouldn't work. But having to do this whole puzzle just to like kill an enemy is just bad. It's just bad. But let's talk about the good stuff. First of all, no more level based. It's all big. It's one big world. Back to how it was in Thousand Year Door. Thank Christ. Thank fucking Christ. That saved the game for me. All right, that salvaged. I could not fucking stand the level progression in Color Splash, and I didn't play Sticker Star, but I know it had it. I'm just gonna use Color Splash as my fucking bitch baby for the rest of this review, because you want to hear my review of Color Splash? Listen to the things that Origami King improves. And there you go. There's my review of Color Splash. Origami King has a better combat system, though not by much. It's more tolerable than Color Splash is. And you actually get punished for running away in Origami King, whereas Color Splash, you can just run away and nothing happens. And that's how 90% of the battles are fought, is that you just run away because you don't want to fight these tedious battles where you get nothing. And Origami King, yeah, you get no EXP. I know. They really hate it, and I hate it too. But don't worry, honey. We'll get to a good Paper Mario game later down the list. We'll get to a good one. I promise you. We'll get to a good one. But Origami King, it's all right. I like the characters. I do. I like Olivia. I like the villain, Ollie. I like Bobby. I know his name is Bob-omb. I'm calling him Bobby just to spite the developers and Nintendo. I know that sounds petty as shit, but it's true. They literally he keeps having to remind everybody, oh, guys, my name's not Bobby. I'm not an OC. Guys, I'm not an OC, guys. I am just a average Bob-omb, and I don't have a fuse. That's what's up, guys. I'm serious. But he actually goes through an arc, and then he dies. And then Mario and Olivia get depressed. And they have to, like, cope. In my Mario game, they go through depression and have to cope. Well, fucking hell. That's how you expand Paper Mario right there. And if this was in an actual proper Paper Mario sequel, this would be like Aerith tier levels of sadness. Like, imagine if he was an actual partner who did shit, and then you just lose him. Literally, how everybody felt about Final Fantasy VII in 1997 when Aerith dies. Oh, shit, spoilers. My bad, guys. I'm sorry. I've just fucking put a spoiler warning for this 1997 game. It's how everyone would have felt when Bobby died. Now I just feel like, well, it's a sad death, but I wish he was in a better game. All things considered, Origami King's a fine game. I also think it's odd there's no post-game. Now, it is remedied by having an alternate ending. But we and Thousand Year Door had a post-game. I don't know if Color Splash had a post-game. Once I beat that game, I literally just packaged that shit and sent it to my friend. I don't give a fuck. I was like, oh, good, I'm done. Okay, send off. Called that shit over. I like watch a YouTube video about if there's a post game because I don't give a fuck. But Origami King, I at least like enough that I may go back and do a actual like 100% of the game. I do like it enough because the secrets are pretty well hidden and they're pretty clever. There were some times where I was going, That's what I was doing. I was acting like that. And then I was going, because I had to do a boss fight. Or I had to do like just a fight. Oh, and the boss fights are actually pretty cool. They're not hard, but they're cool. They're a little long, but they're cool. I kind of wish most of the game was actually how the boss fight arenas operated, where you have to like use them, you have to move the squares so that you just do damage, the most damage. There are a couple of default enemies. Well, not default enemies, because there's one like fire sumo guy who's just like he's just a fire sumo from like Super Mario World, and he gets the boss fight treatment, and that was cool. I wish other guys got that boss fight treatment, because there's like 10 bosses, and I think there's 12 bosses, because you have the 4 elementals, you have the fire sumo guy, you have the things or the King Ollie's like troop, and there's like 5 of those guys. Yeah, so Origami King's good. Do I recommend it? Yeah. I don't think it's $60 worthy. I'm going to be honest. Like, don't get me wrong. There's $60 worth of content in it, but it's like $60 of content. I say wait for it to go on sale, but that's like a joke. Nintendo doesn't put shit on sale, so I'm sorry. Next game was Cuphead. Now, I had beaten Cuphead before. I had beaten it with a friend, with a partner, and that was fun. But now I own it now, and I've beaten it solo. And I ended up having 444 deaths. I A-ranked the game, so every boss has at least an A-. I wouldn't settle for less. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I'll go back and get A- at least. Which means I had to like end the battle. I had to get all parries. I had to just end the battle with at least 2-3 health. That was good enough for me. I fuck me trying to not take a single hit of damage at any of these fucking bosses. I managed to do it with King Dice of all people, which was insane because I had just done that. I had like ran King Dice so much. I ended up getting an A+ on that motherfucker. Thank Christ. All right. Thank the Lord. I got a fucking A+ on that guy. All right. I felt like a fucking G. All right. The GOAT. All right. The GOAT. So Cuphead is amazing. It deserves all the praise it's getting. I love that it's getting so much respect. All right. I like that it's getting a Netflix show whenever that's happening. I like that it's getting DLC whenever that's happening. I like that it's got a fucking Smash representation. Fucking incredible. All right. Cuphead deserves the hype. God damn it. It is a fantastic game. And I'm glad I finally beaten it solo because I feel like that's how it was meant to be played. In co-op, things get a little too hectic, like more than usual hectic, which is a lot. It's saying a lot. It's true. They do. So yes, I've now played it the way it was meant to be played. That's amazing. All right. So next up is Wandersong. Wow. Now, I don't know how the fuck this went under my radar. This might be one of my favorite games of all time. It's so good. And it's one of those games that I can recommend to everyone. It's like Undertale in a way, where even my brother, who just kind of plays casual games, can play it. Because my little brother, he plays Animal Crossing and Ace Attorney and Minecraft, and that's about it. He doesn't play many games. But he loves Undertale, and he loved playing Undertale. And once I told him, Wandersong was a thing, and he was he was turned off because it was a platformer. But he ended up fucking loving it, because it is a very just charming game. It's one of the few games that I never at any point felt like, okay, I'm going to look up a walkthrough for this. Because it's just chill. I just vibed fucking hard. It was so simple. So chill. And it gets really heavy halfway through. In the best possible way. It's also really funny. It does so much with a simple concept of just 8 directions of singing. I love every character. I would die for half of this fucking cast. I love them so much. I like that the 2 characters, the main male character whose name is shit. I completely fucked up his name because they let you name the character in the game, and it's It uses like predictive text. It said shit. So I called him like Olaf. I call him like Ov or some shit like egg in French or whatever. But yeah, the Bard is what I'll call him henceforth. So the Bard and Miriam, they don't like fall in love or whatever. Even though Miriam's like a total like tsundere, they don't fall in love at the end. They just like are friends, and you just realize Miriam just wants a friend, and she's like kind of depressed. And it's like, you know what? Fuck yeah, go ahead. Where was Wonder Song my whole life? I only saw it because it went on sale during like Black Friday. That's when I picked it up and played it, and it was so good. Please play Wonder Song. I don't know when it's gonna go on sale next, but please fucking play it. It's only like 10 hours long. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's so fucking good. It is so fucking good. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Just really good. Next up, Metroid Fusion. I never beaten this. I had played it like 2 years ago. That's when I first played it. I put it down for a while because I had other shit to do. But then once COVID hit and I was in quarantine, I said, you know what? Fuck it. It's time to finish this game. And then I beat it. And it's pretty good. It's not my favorite Metroid game. It's not my favorite. That would go to Prime 1, which I just beat. So expect to see that in the next in the next list. But it's pretty good. Now, I'm more of a Super Metroid Zero Mission kind of guy in terms of I actually like it when you can just explore and not have shit shoved down your throat every 2 seconds. But despite that, Metroid Fusion manages to subvert my expectations. It's constantly telling you where to go, but not how to get there. And I feel like that's a nice like middle ground. And also this game's really fucked up. Like it's really fucking dark for like a E-rated, it's like E10 rated GBA game. It gets really fucked up. The music is never like happy. It's always just droning and tense, and you're fighting yourself. You're fighting Super Metroid Samus, which is really scary. Like, you forget how busted Super Metroid Samus is before you play. Once you like beat Super Metroid, you realize, wow, that was really good. I feel so cool. Now, Metroid Fusion, you're like an enemy that you fight, right, that you fight in Super Metroid. It's an amazing idea. I love it so much. All the bosses are really fun. Some of them are really fucking hard, by the way. But they're all really fun. Yeah, play Metroid Fusion. It's very good. I recommend it highly. Next up, Donkey Kong Country 2. Now, I had played the first Donkey Kong Country a while back when I got the SNES Classic, actually. I realized it was on there, but only the first one. Then DKC2 dropped on the Switch. Not the, what the fuck is it called? The SNES library or whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. I haven't played it. So I played it. It's good. I think I like the first one a bit more. And I think that's only because I like Donkey Kong. And he's not in the second one. Well, I mean, he's in it, but you can't play as him. And it's like, yeah, Diddy Kong's cool, I guess. What makes him so cool? Oh, he's a chimp. So, what am I supposed to prepare for like random chimp event? Donkey Kong is fucking cool. All right, Donkey Kong has swag. All right, Diddy Kong has swag. All right, he's got negative swag. All right, fuck Diddy Kong. But hey, Dixie Kong's pretty cool. I like Dixie Kong. Dixie Kong's pretty cool. And I like that the game is really hard. You know, it feels fair in like the Mario sort of way where you just get like 2 hits and you're done. And you have to do the whole level over again with mine. I guess there's checkpoints, but you know what I mean. It's hard. And I didn't 100%. I did not. I'm just going to be honest. I did not 100% that fucking game. But I might go back and do it. I had a lot of fun playing it. I really did. It was a fun fucking game. So, yeah, also, I was really surprised to see that Wrinkly Kong was actually alive at one point. Like, I thought she'd just been dead since the beginning. Because the only thing I knew about Wrinkly Kong was that she was a ghost because her Brawl trophy, you know, from Smash Brawl, showed her as a ghost. And I was like, oh, that's fucked up. She died. But apparently that's like DK64 Wrinkly Kong. And she's alive in DKC 2, which is good. I like it. I love that Donkey Kong Country has an actual sense of like time progression in it. It's something that Mario doesn't have, and even like some of the new Donkey Kong Country games don't have, is a sense of like progression of time, where like events actually happen and the games all like take place on a timeline. Like, for example, as soon as you start up Donkey Kong Country, you know that the Donkey Kong you play as is the grandson of the Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong. He's like Donkey Kong Jr.'s son. That is so fucking cool. That once I learned that as like a kid, my mind was fucking blown. I'm like, they can just do that? They can just make it so that this Donkey Kong is like a different Donkey Kong. Like, I thought that shit like Metal Gear does. And it's just in this Donkey Kong game. And you can really tell when Rare had their hands on it. Like, don't get me wrong, Retro Studios, fan-fucking-tastic level designers. But in terms of lore, they do fall short. They do. You cannot tell me that Lord Frederick and the Tic Tac tribe from Tropical Freeze and Returns, respectively, have anywhere near the amount of sauce that King K. Rool has. There's a reason King K. Rool's in Smash as a character, and Lord Frederick and Tic Tac and not the Tic Tac, the Tiki Tac, I've already forgotten their names, they're so forgettable, are our spirits, because King K. Rool is a much better character, even though I'm pretty sure like Chris Sutherland, I think, just admitted he made up the character in like 10 seconds. You know what? Chad, he did a good job in 10 seconds. For 10 seconds, he did a good job. I'm assuming they had a gun pointed to his head because he pulled some shit out of his ass and made it amazing. And I really wish they'd bring him back. And I feel like now that he's in Smash, by the way, that DKC 6 or Donkey Kong Country, whatever the fuck they want to call it, has him in some capacity. They could make him like a shopkeep. I don't care. I just want him in the game. He didn't like vanish off the face of the earth. It's not. I haven't played DKC 3 yet. Maybe he like just dies of like ass cancer. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So Donkey Kong Country. This went off on a little tangent, but yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2, very good game. Very glad I played it. Play it. Among Us. Yes, I know. Oh, what the heck? When the imposter is sus. Yeah, no, it's good. It's fun. I don't really like it as much as most people do. I think, like, I got the gist of it a couple of games in, and it's fun to play with friends. But after a while, once people figure out the game, it becomes a lot less fun. I don't think it's meant to be a game. Guys, hot take. I don't think it's meant to be a game you're supposed to play over and over again. Like, I get that it's free on mobile, and a lot of people are broke motherfuckers, especially now. But, like, guys, you gotta play another game. Like, I know Fall Guys dropped off the face of the earth. It fell off the face of the earth, no pun intended. But, like, fucking play that game. That game's meant to be played multiple times, you know? I didn't even play Fall Guys. Fuck Fall Guys. I don't give a fuck. That they really, like... Never in my life have I seen a corporate Twitter account shoot themselves in the foot so hard by trying to be relevant. They did, like, the Chungus guy. Like, why would I fucking play a game that has big Chungus in it? I wouldn't. I'm not. What do I look like? Because it's not a Chetnet Rush, I'll tell you that. I'm not a Chungus, all right? I know I just said a bunch of nonsense, but I'm sure it made sense to someone. Yeah, so Among Us is good. We'll talk about why I have nothing but respect for the developers of Among Us a little bit later. You'll see why. We'll get to that. And I mean, and by later I mean like pretty soon. There's like 3 games in between. Yeah, and right next to the next one, Jackbox and or Drawful. I guess they're separate, but I've played like all 7 of them now. Actually, I've not played the first Jackbox, but I've played 2 through 7, as well as Drawful 2, and they're fantastic. These are games I can play over and over again. These are the party games that I've been missing in my life, all right? Fuck board games. Fuck Cards Against Humanity. That game sucks, all right? Fuck Pick Your Poison. Fuck Apples to Apples. No. Actually, no. Sorry. No. Apples to Apples is Slapples to Slapples, all right? Apples to Apples is Slapples to Slapples. That's the Cards Against Humanity, all right? All right? But Jackbox blows them all out of the water. Fucking amazing. And 7 is no different. Yeah, I'm not going to play Devils in the Details very much. I'll probably play it like once more. It's just like WarioWare minigames, but like more stressful. Like somehow more stressful. But Quiplash 3, the fighting one. I forget what the name is. The fighting one. The one where 2 drawings duke it out. Fucking incredible. So good. I'm probably not going to be playing the word one, but I will definitely be playing, what's it called? Why do I forget these names? They're good puns. I remember Devils in the Details for some fucking reason, but I've forgotten all the other ones. And I remember Quiplash 3 because it's the third Quiplash. Quiplash 3 is the best one, by the way. I am very mad that it does not have Comic Lash because Comic Lash led to the greatest moment in Stockblockers history, sans the John moment. But Triplash always showing up instead of sometimes getting the shitty Acro Lash makes it the best one. Just Triplash just being the only one and having it being decent means that I'm fucking great. I love Triplash. It's like a 3 jokes in one. And like I'm like wheezing for breath by the time I'm done because it's amazing. So yeah, definitely get Jackbox. They go on sale all the time. There's like sometimes they'll just go on sale for like 1 cent. That's how I got Drawful. It went on sale for like a cent. I'm like, oh shit, I think I can cover for that. I was like, oh shit, I better get that one. And like, I can't play Among Us with my family. I don't think my dad would or my mom would even be able to play it. They're old. They love Jackbox. They love Drawful too, especially. They fucking love Drawful. That's why it's by itself, because it's fucking amazing. And it's like they're very like big board game people, and I'm not. Like I like chess. That's not a board game. That's like a actual game. All right. We're not talking about like Sorry. All right. We're not talking about like Clue. Okay, Clue's all right. But like some of these board games just suck ass. But Jackbox doesn't suck ass. At least some of the mini games don't. And the fact that you can play online with them makes them even better. So I can't wait to play more of it because I'm not done with it, obviously. Super Mario RPG. I wish it was the only one just for me. It's not. It's just okay. It's better than Origami King because it actually is an RPG and not pretending to be one. But, God, after playing every other Mario RPG... Okay, I haven't played Inside Story yet, but look, thinking back at it, it's just not that great. It's just not. I understand why it holds a special place in so many people's hearts, and I don't want to disparage anyone, but it is just okay. And you know what? I'm going to say it. It's because Square made it. It's because Square Enix made it. Well, I guess just Squaresoft at the time. They made it. Now, Square, they can make good music, even if they don't license it to everyone. They can make good graphics at the time. But I'll tell you this, their combat system is just too formulaic. They just make it so bare bones. Now, Enix, on the other hand, and yes, I know there's a difference, and that's because I've been playing Dragon Quest V, and it will show up in the 2021 one. Enix, on the other hand, they get it. All right, they get it. Thank God Square Enix fused together like DBZ style, because Enix gets it. They know how to make Dragon Quest fun. I've only played 5 and 11's demo, but if 5 is anything to go off for the rest of the series, holy shit, Dragon Quest is like amazing. No wonder it's so fucking popular in Japan. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Super Mario RPG, very good game. Character-wise, very good game. Graphics-wise, okay game. Story-wise, I feel like the story is trying... Okay, I feel like it's trying to do what Mario and Luigi succeeded at, which is just have more of a lighthearted typical RPG story, because like, you know, it's a typical go around, get 7 MacGuffins, and then defeat the big bad guy, but it's way more lighthearted. And Paper Mario has a nice balance of making it not so lighthearted because making it super serious, and Mario and Luigi has the advantage of making it stupidly lighthearted to the point where the villains don't really feel like a threat because they're so goofy. Like they're like, okay, I guess we're going back to Mario and Luigi here. You know how like Elmer Fudd is not a threat, but every time he shows up, you laugh because he's a good character. That's how I feel about Cackletta and Fawful. They're not good villains. They're not very competent. They constantly fuck up. And same thing with, well, I guess the Shroobs are actually threatening, but they don't really. I'll get to that in 2021. You know, at least with Cackletta, who's, by the way, mommy, by the way, grandma. I love Cackletta. I love her so very much. Very attractive. Like outing myself here. I'm gonna be put on a watch list for liking Cackletta. You know, they're very like goofy. And then in RPG, Super Mario RPG, the Smithy Gang, which is a stupid fucking name, they're just kind of there. They're not really threatening. They're not really funny. They're not really Yeah, they're just kind of forgettable. Like they show up and then they die as soon as they show up, and they're not like even like No More Heroes where they get a ton of characterization. You just like they show up, they say what they're gonna do, they say what they've done, and then you fight them. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I fight Mac. Oh no, not Mac. Mac, and like, no, fuck off, Mac. I don't give a fuck about this dickhead. Now, when you get to the sword, is when it gets kind of cool. All right, because then you Geno whirl the sword and it actually like kills the sword in one hit. That was super fucking satisfying. Because I heard about that in like rumors. I was like, you can Geno whirl the sword, and I was like, oh, cool, nice. Also, I'm just gonna be honest. I just watched Chuck Conroy's Let's Play in like 2 times speed while I was playing the game because it is so easy to miss a ton of shit. How does anyone find any of the shit in Mario RPG? How does anyone find anything in Mario RPG? It's so convoluted. Like, the puzzles aren't hard. Those are easy. Like, I was able to figure out the Pearl puzzle pretty simply. But, like, figuring out the frog coins... I mean, you don't need frog coins. You can beat the game without collecting a single one. But fucking hell, they are so fucking stupid. The one frog coin where, like, if you don't, like, jump on a toad's head at the beginning of the game, you just miss your opportunity to grab it for the rest of the game. What the fuck? Imagine some dickhead tries to 100% Mario RPG. That's impossible. That's like impossible. Do people do that? Are people masochists? Yeah, people are masochists. But do people do that? Are people masochists enough to 100% Super Mario RPG? Because I don't think you're meant to. So much shit to collect. So many hidden boxes all around the goddamn world that are in such cryptic spots that you could never possibly find them. But it's a pretty easy game, so I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, whatever. Time to go to a really good RPG. I know I've been shit talking RPGs, but now we're in the good shit. Bug motherfucking Fables, alright? You know, this is why I wasn't so hard on Origami King. Because I don't even care that, Paper Mario's never coming back. Because Bug Fables, it's what it's always should have been. Like, I know it's not the best graphics-wise. It's not even the best writing-wise. Like, the actual writing of the characters is a little stilted. You know, the V is the only, like, character that actually, like, plays off anyone. She's the only, like, foil. Everyone else is just kind of like, yes, I'm very royal and a very good bug, and we do what we must, you know? It's like, oh, yes, and then everyone else is royal, and V is just out here like, hello, I like money. You know, it's like, good, good for her. Good for her. She's out there. And yes, before you ask, yes, I will fuck the bee. I admit it. I admit it. It's hip. It's hip now. We're not in the dark ages anymore. We can do this. All right, and I'd fuck all these bees. Every bee, just like in real life, all the important bees in the hive are women. And I'm bi. I'd fuck anything. All right, I'd fuck that femboy ant. Like, the only male ant is just like gay and like tricks people. Like, what the fuck? I know he's like a Kickstarter backer character, but it's like kind of weird. He's like a boyfriend. That's cool. I always just assume the bugs in this game don't like fuck or like, well, they do fuck obviously, but they don't like have traditional relationships because like bees and ants and wasps are like hive mind characters. It's usually the queen that fucks and repopulates. So like V, what love interest she's gonna have? Like ants, nah. Anyway, I'm getting too deep into this. What's important is that this game is the fucking goat shit. If you like Mario RPG, you play this fucking game. Alright? If you like Paper Mario, you play this fucking game. If you like Mario and Luigi, you play this fucking game. Because honestly, this is the best any of these are going to get. Alright? Now that Paper Mario is nothing like its former self, Mario and Luigi is probably dead. And Mario RPG, well, I get another one of those ever. You can't even get Geno in Smash as like an actual character. He's just stuck to an assist trophy and Spirit. Oh, boo-hoo. Anyway, I don't give a fuck about Geno. Whatever. He's cool, I guess. But Bug Fables. Back to this masterpiece of a game. It's kind of weird playing Mario and Luigi and doing like insane amounts of damage when in Paper Mario you start off doing like 1 damage, but enemies do 1 damage. In Bug Fables, it's the same. You do like 2 or 3 damage, and that's how it should be. That's what made Paper Mario, is that you do like 2 damage, and now you know exactly how much damage you do, so you can strategize around it, doing the most amount of damage possible. Except in this one, there's all 3 partners are out on the same time, unless you get Chompy, who's based. All the partners are just out, and they can all spy. So now you know the health. I'm just going to be rambling about strategies and shit, but it is incredible how strategic Bug Fables is. It feels like a grown-up Paper Mario, despite it also being for children. Like, kids could play Bug Fables. No one, like, says damn or no one fucks. Although there is, unfortunately, a very small amount of Bug Fables porn online. That needs to be remedied immediately. All right, get on that shit, fellas. I'm not about to sit here and settle for like a couple of V images. I want to see everyone getting fucked. All right, I want to see Kabu's ass. I want to see Leaf's fucking weird dick. I want to see it all. All right, I want to see it all. Anyway, sorry. For some reason, every time I talk about Bug Fables, I just keep talking about porn. It's nothing. I'm sure that has nothing to do with my psyche. Yeah, so very, very good game. Bet one of the best of the year. I think like Jackbox 7 was the only game I've played so far that actually came out this year. Origami King. Origami King came out this year too. I didn't play many games that came from this year. I'm gonna be honest. I don't do that. That's not how I roll. I'll just play them when I get around to them. You know, I'll get around to some of these games eventually. Yeah, I'm not a dickhead contrarian. I just like games because I like games. I like playing games. I like talking about games. I like thinking about how I would make it. You know, that's what I care about. I don't care about like I gotta play the game of the year, Miles Morales Spider-Man. Like I'll play that game when I get around to it. You know, if I got the game in front of me and I got the time, I'll play it. Okay, that's how it works. Anyways, time for my game of the year. Henry Stickmin Collection. This is what I meant when I said the guys who made Among Us can do no wrong. I grew up on Flash games, all right? I did. I had a GameCube. I had a Wii. Had a Game Boy, DS. Had all lots. But despite having a ton of shit to come back to, I even had a PS3 at my grandparents' house. Despite having all the shit to come back to, I guess I also had Steam at the time, too. I'd also just go on my computer and just play Flash games. I'd go on Nitro. I'd go on Gamesloft.com. I'd go on whatever the fuck. And I'd just play fucking Flash games. And I'd love it. I'd love every single second of it. Because, honestly, well, one, they were free. Which fucking, that helps, obviously. But knowing that I'll never be able to play a lot of them again makes the Henry Stickmin collection that much more special. I know a ton of them are archived in Newgrounds, but actually having some of my favorite ones, because the stick figure Flash games are like top tier, all right? I'm not just talking about like animator versus animation or whatever. I'm talking like your Counter-Stick series. You had your Henry Stickmin collection. You had your Million Ways to Kill a Stick Fighter. You know, you had your God, I played a million of those. Those like kill the stick fighter game character. You know, where like you have this guy in jail, and you just have to kill him. And there's like a secret ending where you can cut his dick off. He's got like a fat orange dick for some reason. And there's one where they like poops and eats the poop. God, that was really fucked up. Why did I like that game? Why did I show that to the kid I was babysitting? That's a really fucked up game. I'm just realizing it now. Anyway, Henry Stickmin Collection is my favorite game of the fucking year. Fuck you. It came out this year, so it counts. It's so good. It's funny. And I know what you're saying. It's barely a game. It is. That's like saying like Cookie Clicker is a game because you just tap the thing. There's no strategy to Henry Stickmin, all right? You know, you don't sit there and think, yeah, this idea will probably get me to the end. No. You say, this idea is probably the funniest. I'll see if it works. And it might work or it might not. And it doesn't fucking matter if it works or not. It doesn't fucking matter if you actually progress in Henry Stickmin because every outcome is funny. And I think that's what makes Henry Stickmin so great. It's not even really subverting the genre. It's just exceeding at the genre because you're not really thinking about it. It's like, okay, you know those DVD extras? You know, on DVDs. You put the DVD in, you know, there's the watch video. The one I remember the most was VeggieTales Lord of the Beans. There was one where you could choose paths. You play as Junior Asparagus Hobbit, and you can choose paths, and it's really bare bones and rudimentary. I don't even know if there's any gameplay footage of it ever online. I just remember playing it because I had the DVD. But it was so much fun, man. It was. Good times. Henry Stickmin Collection. Let's get back on topic. Well, I mean, I am on topic technically because it's about choose your adventure kind of thing. And, you know, I had played the first 5 up to this point. Breaking the Bank, Escaping the Prison, stealing the diamond, infiltrating the airship, and fleeing the complex. I played them all multiple times. Loved every second of them, got every single ending, got every single achievement. And now I have to get every bio. That's a bitch. All right, if there's one thing I have to say, is that getting every bio is a bitch, but it's fucking worth it. These bios are amazing. They're so good. But then, once I beat all of them, and I got to that final one, completing the mission, and I was like, what could this be? How could they top this? How could they top the previous 5? Then they frame one top to the previous 5 by having it be like 20 different games in one. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. Yes, I know all the games have like one or two, like one ending. I think like one of them has 2 endings, but they all have one ending. I don't fucking care. I love them so very much. The fact that every single Henry Stickmin ending is canon is such a genius idea. And the fact that they're actually able to follow through on it is even better. There are so many different paths, so much crazy shit happens, and you just like these characters a lot, despite there not being a lot of character. You just like them because they're funny. I just like funny games. All right? You know what I don't like? I don't like hard, unfair bullshit games. That's why Super Ghosts and Goblins sucks fucking dick. All right? Fuck this game. All right? I played the original Ghosts and Goblins a while back. All right? I played it on emulator. It was all right. I liked it. It's hard, but at least it's not like... Oh, it is bullshit hard, I know. But at least it's simple, all right? You go through the game once, then you go through the game again, you get the shitty end screen. Okay, whatever, I don't care. Super Ghosts and Goblins showed promise early on, all right? You beat the game, you're playing the game, King Arthur can double jump. Already huge fucking improvement, all right? Because his jump arc was, like, fixed in the first game, so when you jump, you committed fucking hard to that jump, and it, like, sucked, all right? You died so many times. But at least in the second game, you can somewhat alter the trajectory. Somewhat. So already, second game, vast improvement. Then you get to the end. And what I mean is ending number 1. You have to find the secret jewel. Once I saw that it was hidden somewhere in the world, and by beating the entire game, didn't actually give it to you, I just was like, no, fuck it. I'm not doing this. It's horseshit. There is a level of dickishness I'm willing to endure. That was not it. I said, fuck it. I turned the game right off. All right? I just got up. I walked away. I was like, all right, time to play Henry Stickmin again. And I fucking did. And I played Henry Stickmin again. It was so much fun. And I watched my fucking buddy Clouded play Henry Stickmin. Fucking blast. He had never played any of them. So yeah, anyway, 2021. Time to play some more fucking games. Yeah.